friends, it's Polly from Horacio Printing. Welcome to our fall seasonal refresh. I'm so excited to walk you through this special section of our planner where we reset our goals, we reset our heart, we refocus and just get ready for the next season. Because the truth is, 2018 is not over yet, and there's still so much to be lived in this last season of 2018. So to get started, all you need is the PDF that we sent you, or if you have your planner, this is inside your planner, so you could fill that out with us. I also recommend having a pen and a timer. So I'm using this little kitchen timer. You can also use the timer on your cell phone, but if you do, I recommend putting it on airplane mode, because the goal of this session is to unplug, be undistracted, and really invest in yourself, invest in your heart, invest in your mind, invest in your dreams, and invest in who you are becoming in this next season of your life. I just want to reiterate that the planner we created is not just about what you have to do or what appointments are coming up and, don't want to forget to pick up the milk and the groceries. It's not just about that part of your life. It is a helpful tool for that, but more importantly, the planner is a tool to help you discover and define who you are becoming, and then using that planner to be an accountability partner. So this is a sneak peek of a section that's in our planner. Every 3 months we do a seasonal refresh, and it just helps you refresh everything. Like, what's my goals I made at the beginning of the year? Which ones do I still want to stick with and work on because I'm still becoming that person? And just remember, we're always evolving. We're always going to be becoming someone closer to Jesus. So, good things take time. So make sure you give yourself grace in this process. So let's get started. I'm super excited to do this with you. I'm so glad you're investing some time. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say pause and set the timer. And basically, I just want you to pause the video and actually do this with me. So this is going to be a guided reflection time, and you'll pause the video, you'll complete the activity, and when you're done, you can press unpause, okay? Press play, and we'll go over it, and I'll show you how I did mine so you can see that as well. So the first thing in a seasonal refresh is the seasonal prayer. And our prayer for fall is that you slow down, because we live in such a fast-paced world, with a million things bombarding our attention and distracting us. And so with this holiday season coming up, really my prayer, our prayer for you, is to slow down and be present. I really was inspired, this prayer was inspired by Jesus, who was never in a hurry. He was never frantic. He never was too busy for anybody. Even if he had a mission and he was following God's plan for his life, if someone came up and needed him, he was there for that person. And so he was just carefree, not careless, but carefree. And he lived intentionally slow. He was still on purpose though, do you know what I mean? So that is something I want to invite you, is just to slow down and invite more peace into your life this season. That's our prayer for you. So take time to read this prayer, underline what really helps you, to speak this prayer with me, and then write down what you're believing for this season. So let's pause the video and put 5 minutes on the timer. You can do more if you want, however long it takes you. Put 5 minutes, and then when we come back, I'll share you what I'm believing for this season. Okay, let's pause. Okay, time's up. Now that you're back, I'd love to know what you're believing for. So if you want to share a picture of this on Instagram and share your fall seasonal refresh, go for it. I want to see what you're believing for. I want to encourage you on this journey. So feel free to share that if you're comfortable. I totally understand if you want to keep that to yourself. What I'm believing for is business breakthrough and a healthy pregnancy and a growing community. I just moved to Orlando, and so just growing my community here, both my community, my husband's community, just kind of getting more established here because I just moved from New York where I was living for 9 years, so that's a big transition. So the next page is our refocus cloud. And this exercise is really special because it's the first exercise I ever created when I was designing the first planner. So here is the refocus cloud. So what it is, it's a space for you to bubble out your passions, your focuses, your obligations, and your distractions. So basically all the jumbled mess that's going on in your brain that's stressing you out and overwhelming you, this is a place for you to plot out anything and everything that's on your mind. So this is how it kind of looks when it's done. This is my refocus cloud. I want to show you this before so you have a good look at it. So first you bubble out what you're focused on. Focuses include goals you're going after. What are the things that are preoccupying a lot of your mind in a good way that you're focused on? Maybe some goals, things at work, things you're striving towards, and what really is capturing your focus right now. Next, write down your passions. What are some really amazing things that you love to do? Maybe there's something you loved to do when you were a child and you don't have time for it anymore because you're so busy. What's something you absolutely love to do? Things that make you happy, things that make your heart sing. So those are your passions. Then write down your obligations. So housework, taxes, things that you have to do and you need to get done, cooking, cleaning, going to your job, etc. Working out, taking care of your body. And then last, write down your distractions. And this is probably the most important part, is listing out those distractions, like physical distractions, like Netflix, television, answering all my social media text messages as soon as they arrive, those alerts on my phone. Those are distractions, things that distract you from your focuses. It can also be mental distractions. Like for me, it's things I can't control that I dwell on too much. People I want to control, situations I want to control. Like our planners got delayed 3 weeks this year from a hurricane and a typhoon, and it's like I can sit there and be so distracted by this, but it's something out of my control. So that's the refocus cloud, and we're going to spend some time working on this. So get your pen, get your timer. It's about time to pause the video. So let's set it for a good 5 minutes. You can take longer if you want. And let's pause now. Okay, time is up. Hopefully you have a nice giant spider web. I feel like when you just kind of get this stuff out, I already feel better because it's out of my brain and onto paper. That's really the point of the planner too, is getting all this stuff out of your brain and onto paper so you can clearly see the truth. So the next step, the practical step for this, is to really look at your distractions. I believe whenever you can list your distractions clearly, you can get power over them. So what in this distraction list do you want to remove this season, or at least minimize? That is the goal. I know I want to replace television with reading. I know I want to replace television with starting my business. I know I want to replace television with painting because that actually makes me really happy. Or maybe I'm going to paint while I watch TV, or maybe I'm going to do crunches during commercial breaks. Like whatever it is that you want to remove. The point is to remove distractions and try to exit them from your life so you can have more time for what you're focused on and more time for your passions that make you happy. That's really our goal here. So that's the refocus cloud. And in our planner, there's 4 different refocus clouds that you do. So it's something that you continually do throughout the year. So the next exercise is a really special check-in for your personal growth. Now, if you've never used the planner before, this might be a little unfamiliar for you. Basically, this is a check-in based on the work that happens at the beginning of the planner. And so I'm going to show you what that actually looks like. So it looks a lot like yours. So here's the planner and here's the check-in. So what you do is you fill in this little circle based on how you feel you're doing in each of those categories. So how are you doing spiritually? How are you doing physically? How are you doing relationally, professionally, financially, and personally? We want to check in on that by filling out the wheel. So here's an example. This is my wheel. So if you feel like you're doing amazing physically, then you want to fill out that pizza pie as much as you can. If you feel like you're really low on personally, then you fill out that really low. So honestly, that's my lowest one right now, is personally focusing on self-care and really just taking care of my personal growth. So you fill out the wheel, and after you do that in the planner, you actually dream in all directions. So you write down who you want to become in each category of your life. So if you want to do that on here, outside of the wheel, you totally can. So I have here all the ways I want to grow in each of these categories. And I truly believe that our schedule determines who we are becoming in the next season of life. So after we make these declarations, we can actually declare things I want to do in each of these categories. So first is the assessment. How am I doing in each of these categories? And one question I get a lot is, what does the personally category mean? Personally is up to you. It's you. Your passions are completely unique. So take the personal category and you can replace it with, how am I growing artistically? Or you can replace it with, how's my personal growth, like mental growth? Or just taking care of yourself mentally. Okay, so that's kind of how I like to see that. So after you do the assessment, you fill in your pizza pie, you write down this question here: what's one thing I can do in each of these categories and make time